Hey there, Toonami faithful, and welcome back aboard Toonami Absolution, where we talk about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. Once again, we are your hosts. My name is Alyx.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John, and we're ending the week with a bit of a Resident Evil double bill, because I'm enforcing it. Resident Evil Degeneration, released in Japan October 17th, 2008, and USA November 13th, 2008. And Biohazard 4D-Executor, released 28th of April 2001, though it has a bit of a weird distribution history we'll get onto. Which should we start with?
Let's do the first one, or the short one.
Yes, okay, so if you want to know, the reason this came about is because last week, after we finished recording, we were picking films, and Sam was predicting that the next Resident Evil announcement will be Code Veronica remake. At that time, me and Alyx were saying that if you go on certain websites, you can find very interesting pictures of Leon. But you said that, Resident Evil Generation is the first CGI Resident Evil film. You are wrong. It is the first feature length, because Biohazard 4D-Executer was the first. But it was only shown in theme parks and in-mall 4D booths, where you'd sit in a little chair with the headset on, and the chair would rock. And that's what this is. I have a soft spot for this film, because if you've ever seen the Muppet Vision 3D at Disneyland, where Kermit's like, we won't do cheap 3D tricks, and Fozzie Bear starts throwing things at the camera. This film is entirely 3D tricks. It lasts for 17 minutes, and it's an Umbrella Corporation guys trying to recover a new virus made by Dr. Cameron. Would you like to guess how many times in 17 minutes things fly at the camera? I counted.
87.
87 is a good number.
Very
Let's just
high
go.
number.
Is it a high number or a low number?
It's not 87.
Let's go with the old reliable 6-7, like the kids.
Ugh.
12 times.
Oh.
Oh.
But remember, this isn't a 17-minute film, meaning it's basically one a minute.
Sure.
Most of this film by weight is like cans coming at the camera, bullets coming at, birds flying at you, zombies jumping up. It's so, but it's also all CG, and it all looks very bad.
It kind of felt like, have you ever played the arcade House of the Dead?
It
Yes.
does look like House of the Dead.
It feels like House of the Dead. Like I'm about to be running through with my little airsoft gun, trying to not shoot the humans.
My favourite is how sometimes zombies will just come at the camera, but obviously they can't do anything with that because the animations are bad, so the zombie will then just back off a little bit.
Yeah, there's mouth marks on the screen.
Yeah.
Like in House of the Dead.
Yeah.
Exactly like in House of the Dead.
So I do like this plot because they do meet the doctor. She's become a monster, which with her new virus, but so she can bond to animals. So she bonds to a bug, which bonds to a rat, which bonds to a bird. She is the woman who swallowed a fly, the zombie edition, till the end where she grafts her face onto another guy for the final jump scare, and it's like whoa. Which again then ends with blood splattering on the screen because it's 4D. Stuff has to come towards you, and that is my favorite production of this. Is originally the plan was it was going to spray water at you until someone realized that's going to be horrible to clean up.
It's like Body Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they realized that VR headset, water, and cleaning out the booth every time, no one is going to go with it. So they went, no, we're not doing that. And yeah, this was apparently he was going to plan for a home release, but never happened. Probably because it's only 20 minutes long. Yes,
Yeah, they could have stuck it on a DVD for Vendetta or something. I don't know.
You could have put it on as a DVD extra or something.
Yeah.
I presume, but without the 4D effect, you'll see the copy I have is blurry as all hell because it's designed for a 4D screen. But yeah, it's one of my favourite little bits of Resident Evil nonsense. Totally non-canon, but it is fun to think that the first Resident Evil film was in a theme park, and it follows Umbrella of all people. None of the heroes you know, just a load of Umbrella guys.
Actually, quick fun fact about the thing being blurry, because I remembered it being a 4D thing. I have a stolen pair of 3D glasses in this apartment, and it worked with my stolen pair of 3D glasses. So it was actually quite fun. It wasn't perfect, but a lot of it actually worked quite well. So if you have a stolen pair from your local Regal cinemas,
because it's the Umbrella of the leads, it will only work if they're stolen. If you get them through normal means, they will not work. Not the Umbrella way. But yes,
they accidentally stolen. By the way, when you put something into your bag and you just forget it's there.
You keep wearing them the entire day and going, gosh, things are pointing towards me more often for some reason.
Yeah, but time for Leon Bunny Kennedy.
Time for the actual movie, Degeneration. Yes, so the Generation's interesting in that it was Hiroyuki Kobayashi proposed the idea originally. He wanted to make a sequel game to Resident Evil 4 that would run alongside Resident Evil 5. Sony heard it and went, no, but would you like to make it into a film? And they went, yeah. So this is one of like the first Resident Evil movies to be in canon. Like this follows Resident Evil 4 and leads into 5 effectively, sort of, kind of.
It kind of
Yeah, I
bridges
mean, it's
the gap between them.
yeah, Leon is a special DSO agent like he is in 4, 6, and 9. Claire's around, which is great. Also, original voice actor for Claire ever since
Oh,
RE2.
Claire
Um,
Redfield is so much better than her brother.
yeah. Well, her
Not
her
hard.
brother who launches rescue missions to save fallen soldiers and ends up losing his entire team for said rescue mission. Yes, on multiple occasions.
On multiple occasions, Chris
I
is
mean-
so bad at this.
That's just good economy though, because what he's doing is making more rescue missions. If he was successful, he'd put himself out of a job.
Yeah, he's the real
He's
Ouroboros.
Keep himself in business. Anyway.
Also, Paul Mercier, who voices Leon in Resident Evil 4, and the actor that voices Hunnigan from RE4. So just hearing this, it's like, oh, we're in classic 2000s Resident Evil mode. Sweet, perfect.
It looks
Also-
like classic 2000s Resident
It
Evil
does.
mode. This looks like it was animated in the game.
It does. It feels like a massive game cutscene like that. And on the one hand, I kind of like that. On the other hand, it's like, oh no, somebody did not give a lot of budget to this. I do want to point out for our younger audience members who are used to Daddy Leon Kennedy, this is before his twink death. So you need to be prepared for pre-twink death Leon Kennedy in this. John, you want to tell them what we were talking about?
I will say, because of recent social media trends of modding Leon into outfits, I'd actually forgotten that Leon dresses like a normal person. So in this, he appears after the zombie outbreak. He walks into a tent being cool. And I was like, oh, he's weird. This is a different outfit for Leon. Oh, no, that's his actual outfit. This is what he normally wears. I'm just so used to seeing modded, like Leon in Lady Demascu's dress mod, that I'm like, oh, right, no, Leon dresses like a normal human being.
Yeah.
Normal human being in the early 2000s, which we were all dressing weirdly then, like leather
Cool
jackets
jacket.
and shirts.
I've always loved his jackets.
His jacket's great. Jacket's fantastic. I want that jacket.
You know, every single jacket, 6, 4, 9. He's great jackets. Great jackets on Leon Kennedy.
I mean, he's
Leon
making a lot of money on it. He can afford a nice jacket.
Yeah.
Listen, Leon Kennedy post twink death is a very very good looking Leon Kennedy, but it's nice to see younger Leon when he's still kind of sort of not too jaded yet.
When he has the capacity to love, because we do get a Leon romance subplot, which is how do I put this? Those two people, like Leon falls in love with us of our new female lead here, and it doesn't really work because she doesn't feel like.
Because she's not Ada Wong.
Yeah, she also doesn't feel like much of a character, which is
Leon, I think Leon always needs that though. Like in RE6, it's coincidentally also voiced by Laura Bailey, who voices Angela in Degeneration. It's Helena, right? It's his
Yeah.
partner, and so yeah, I just think it's funny that this Laura Bailey's here voicing a Resident Evil partner to Leon before she voices a Resident Evil partner to Leon in RE6. We've also got Roger Craig Smith, who voices Chris Redfield in starting with 5 through 6. And but he's not Chris, because Chris doesn't show up in this.
no Chris, unfortunately.
No Chris Redfield, unfortunately, because he and his sister cannot occupy the same space ever. That is just the rule. You can't have Claire and Chris together.
Code Veronica.
I mean, kinda for like a minute. For like a minute.
At the end of the game, they're both in a Harrier flying away from
Yeah,
a
it can't happen for more than a minute. Like you can't.
They can only meet on transit. That's it. They can only be together on like going somewhere else. They can't. It's third spaces only.
It doesn't count. That doesn't count.
It's like when your parents get divorced and you can only meet your dad in shopping malls. That kind of idea.
Honestly, with this movie, I kind of wanted like more airport stuff. I remember there being a lot of airport stuff. There's not a lot of airport.
That
This
was the stuff in the
feels-
trailer.
Yeah. This feels like two movies. Like, so we have the outbreak in the in the airport. We sort of are incinerating moment. Then we have Leon and his guys going in to try and get the senator and Claire back. Then we have a break where we have the obviously evil British guy who is evil because he is British and this is what we do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, we can't help it. I'm very, very sorry.
It's the accent.
Yeah, we just sound evil. I can't help it.
No, it's the Yorkshire pudding. That's what does it.
Oh, it powers us up. That's what it is. T-virus, G-virus, Yorkshire pud. All a growing boy needs. But yeah, he takes Claire to our new base, which is clearly going to... Which may as well be called building that is going to explode.com, because that's what it is. And then we have another fight in that building. So it's two set pieces glued together, kind of, which is a shame, because the other base, I think, is too... This is a problem I have with a lot of Resident Evil stuff. The lab they go to at the end is too futuristic, which kind of ruins the grounding that makes zombie movies work. Because the very end is like all of it falling apart and Leon trying to avoid falling into the big hole they're going to bury everything in. It's like it's too much like well-placed walkways that are going to fall down and magic technology that's going to set things on fire, rather than the grounding of like, this is a nice, normal situation gone horrible.
Look, I'm just going to throw this out here, right? If you think Umbrella gives a single crap about OSHA compliance and their walkways, you are incorrect. Because, like, honestly, if you really boil it down, right, most of what happens in any Resident Evil property is because of a lack of good storage for Umbrella Corporation. Like, they're investing in all the futuristic stuff. They're putting up like the lights, they're making it look really cool, and they still have a fridge from 1957 that Indiana Jones used to avoid the nuclear holocaust. Like, that's really what this is.
And typewriters.
And typewriters. Typewriters, very important for saving your game.
Yeah. To be fair, to get the fridge out of that room, you will need 5 emblems and solve 6 shadow puzzles and move the statue on 2 blocks across.
Yeah, really quick sidebar. Could you imagine being employed by Umbrella Corporation, and in order to use the bathroom at that place, you need 3 different card keys, a vial, and like several emblems to put into it? Like, how do you get around your workplace at that point?
What's the Resident Evil Biohazard is the one with the family, the Pick family. I love that there is a note in there where they actually note that, oh yeah, getting the infection does make you become obsessed with puzzles. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay, that's how we're getting around this. If you ever also want some fun, read the Resident Evil 2 novelizations, where they keep all the puzzles in, but like all the internal monologues are people going, "This is stupid. This is stupid." I think it's Jill has one point where it's like, Jill put the emblem in. She didn't know why she did that, but she thought, why not?
She is the master of unlocking things.
Jill's might be my favorite RE character. It's between her and Leon, frankly.
I'm sad we didn't get a bit of Jill in this. I was kind of hoping we'd get like at least a cameo of Jill.
Yeah, I could always suggest like Death Island next week. That's where we get everybody.
That is where we get everybody.
Everyone is here. And it's got the funniest name. Death Island is just an inherently silly name.
Sure.
Talking of inherently silly, so a big part of this is there's a very ill-defined, middle of this film, very ill-defined conspiracy where we're basically told the answer, not shown it. But there is Curtis Miller, who is the brother of our new female lead. And at the beginning, he's sneaking through the airport doing bioterrorism. But I love him because he is the most Resident Evil Capcom-looking man imaginable, in that he's like 6'2", built like a brick shithouse with long black hair. And you can, like, when he's walking through the crowd, it's like all these normal-looking humans, and then this dude. It's like, if that guy turned up and you're working in an airport, you would just arrest him. Like, you go, I don't know, you haven't done anything, but you look like you're gonna.
He also resembles, to the point where I'm like, did they just recycle the build? He looks like the opera singing villain from Resident Evil 0. I was like, oh, you just recycled that design.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
I wish he sang opera now. It would make him even more, it would actually make him interesting.
He's not interesting.
He's not interesting. I will admit, my favorite thing about Resident Evil is also here and also in the 4D thing. My favorite thing about Resident Evil is how campy it is in a lot of ways. And the camp is very much preserved here.
Oh, yeah.
And I've missed that out of more recent Resident Evil stuff. Like, I have missed the campy energy of it.
I think Requiem gets back to it, and certainly Remake 4. The problem with like 7 is Seven's like, we're serious now. It's Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Evil Dead and a little bit of Saw. And it's like, okay, but you're also asking me to fight like a beehive laying woman in a greenhouse. So let's like check yourself.
Let's figure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beehive Woman. I do love. That's my takeaway from Biohazard is you go from like that very first bit where it's like, oh, this weird cult people. By the way, bees.
Yeah, no, there we go. Sorry, the T virus took over my computer for a second.
Trisol.
But yeah,
My
like
favorite pieces actually is when a plane crashes into an airport and the door opens, all the zombies come out, but the zombies don't climb down; they all fall, which is just beautiful dark comedy. Or they all just go boom, and you hear them hit the ground. It's so funny.
I like that.
Literally, too, like one at a time.
I like a good stupid zombie. It can kind of run, but it's mainly just shambling around. Like I like a dumb zombie. I'm kind of over fast, smart zombies. 28 Days Later really killed me with that, and I'm kind of over it.
Do you like the idea in RE9 of them retaining some semblance of their personality?
Okay, I'm gonna be very real with you. I've always kind of hated that trope in zombie stuff. I get why we do it, like because it's supposed to be more tragic and there's more investment.
And
I
gameplay variety.
And variety. Like I completely understand why. I've always kind of thought it was a little cheap. Like it's just not my favorite thing for zombie media because if you're doing that, then what's the point of doing zombies? You know
Right,
what
they
I
should
mean?
just be blank. Like, what do they call? What does Romero refer to them in Dawn of the Dead? Like pure motorized instinct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like what's even the point of doing like of that sort of thing and not to be a Max Miller purist in the zombie survival guide, but I think it takes kind of the fun out of the zombie apocalypse where it's like no we should be able to mow these things down with no remorse but now we're bringing pathos into it.
Yeah,
Ugh,
this one sings.
this is what I have vampire media for.
Yeah.
Vampire media is supposed to be the tragic undead that has semblance of its past, but zombies, no, that's a
Well, yeah, I
shambling
mean,
corpse.
yeah, there's a it's romanticized, and there's a operatic quality to a vampire with zombies, it's just blank slate now, and it just wants to kill.
Are you
But
I think
pro warm bodies or anti warm bodies as a movie? Like that's
it's a
kind
fine movie, but give me my blank slate zombies.
I'm always a bit sad because we do the retainer thing, but it's either people who had careers in the arts or people who were ex-military only get that. I want the zombie that gets distracted by taxes. Like if we're gonna do that, I want like to be the only time. Oh god, what's the anime called? School Days.
School
I
Day?
quite yeah, I think so. Where they had the zombie thing, and I quite like how they did it, in where it was like they retain bits of their personality, but it's routine. They don't
Oh,
know what they're doing, so like they would all get in the playground at recess because that's just what they did. I think that was a nice middle ground.
I think you're thinking of High School of the Dead.
I might be thinking of High School of the Dead. I've seen 3 or 4 anime where it's a high school where everyone is full of zombies.
There are a lot of those. There are a handful
There,
of
there
those.
are too many of those, and I can't remember
Yeah.
which one is which
All,
after this long.
all of
High
us
School
are
of the Dead is
dead.
very
That's
good.
a good K drama. But the uh
Oh, I thought you were just having an existential crisis there for a moment.
oh no, yeah, we
I
are the
just,
Walking Dead.
I just heard
Are we
everyone
the
heard
zombies?
we're all dead.
Um,
Um, I mean, it's interesting seeing because this came out like months before 5, which has Trisol as the new umbrella, and we get that tease at the end.
yeah.
Yes.
That's, I guess, the first. I almost feel like Capcom made this as a way to kind of be like, get excited. And I guess it works because, like, remember, as much as people like to dunk on 5, it did do like gangbusters sales numbers.
It did do numbers.
And it shut down Central London.
Did it?
Oh
It
god, you haven't heard so they did
No.
a ARG thing where they had these zombie limbs around London. Had teams had to race to grab them and bring them to Tower Bridge within a time limit. What they had done is the limbs look really realistic, and to make
Oh,
them look gory, they had covered them in mashed up chicken livers,
oh,
and then left them sort of very exposed. So obviously, when they started it, people were calling the police saying, "I found like a load of limbs in an alleyway. What do I do?" And so then the ending was all the groups went to run to Tower Bridge and hold the limbs aloft. Obviously, tourists saw that, started panicking. So the Met Police came down and went, guys, I'm going to arrest every single one of you who was involved for causing just panic. And they went, okay, we'll shut it down. But then they found some of the limbs had gone missing.
Ooh.
So Capcom had to issue a press statement being like, look, if you pick these up, dispose of them safely because they are covered in old chicken livers, and if you lick them, it could kill you. And there's a really funny interview with the Capcom guy because the press wouldn't believe them. The press like, okay, it's just part of your stunt. Like, no, 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 we're being deadly serious. These are limbs. They are missing, and please send them to us or bin them, but do not put them in your mouth.
Do not put them in your mouth is an insane thing to have to tell someone for something they picked up off the street.
I
Lick
mean, that's
something, lick this and you will die is an interesting thing.
because for context, when they put these limbs around, they didn't like have them like in like a fake cordon with like or like have an umbrella guy stood next to them. They just like one of them was in a box in a doorway outside a pub, and apparently they hadn't even told the pub owner they had done it. So he just opened his door and found a box with an arm in it. And it's like, okay, it would look obvious if you lifted it up, but you're not going to do that if you find an arm in your doorway.
I'm actually pretty sure that this ended up affecting the Mafia 3 ARG thing that they did in New York because and you can still find them. They did like body outlines for the Mafia 3 release and that but they put the logo of the game in the middle of it so that nobody would get confused.
Yeah, it's quite if you follow sort of ARG stuff, it's quite famous as an example of what not to do. E.g., don't have people run around central London with severed limbs because tourists are probably going to call the police rather than asking what are you doing. On that though, TerraSave also come from Resident Evil 5. You meet two of their members who are the protest group here. So yeah, it's the lead.
Oh.
And yeah, if you want proof of how this was promo for 5, its debut wasn't in cinemas. It was at the Tokyo Game Show. You brought tickets there. It had very limited theatrical releases in both the US and Japan. Made 40 million yen in Japan though in cinemas.
I remember seeing ads for it, when it was like coming to DVD and stuff. And I remember being like, oh, okay. And I remember being disappointed by the live action movies because of how much they had moved away from the games. Because I'm kind of a purist when it comes to that stuff.
It, so funny you mentioned that because this reviewed really well. Like 67% critic score and an audience score, and all of the reviews are saying that this is better than Paul W.S. Anderson's movies. All the reviews are just slagging off the live action. They're not praising this. They're just saying it's not Paul Anderson's movies, which is really funny.
It's really interesting because watching the movie, I thought that I had never seen it before until I realized no, this was my dad had just finished RE4 and he was like, no, I'm gonna find every piece of Resident Evil content I can find that's not just the games, and this was one of the things he managed to find at like we were in Chinatown and he found like a burnt DVD of this and this is how we watched it on our PlayStation 2. Like I have a distinct memory of this because of my dad and the fact that I technically wasn't allowed to watch it because my mom didn't want me watching rated R movies at that time and my dad didn't tell her.
She saw Leon and went, banned in this house.
Yeah.
What big sign up.
What was your all's gateway into Resident Evil?
My dad.
On the PS1. I remember it was on a demo disc back when the UK PlayStation magazine used to still be a thing. They had a really surprisingly. I remember it. Either I was an idiot as a child, or it was a surprisingly long demo. I can't remember which one it was, but
it was a long demo.
Okay, it was a long demo. I remember being quite stuck on it for quite a while. There was at least one puzzle that really bugged me, and the tank controls were a delight.
For me, it like I was a little kid when a lot of this was coming out, but my dad has always been a really big I mention my dad a lot because that's just kind of how this works. But my dad was a really big video gamer, and one of the things that we would do when there were games that like I was either too young to play or that like I wasn't going to be able to do, we would sit together at the kitchen table, and I'd have paper out so that we could draw the maps of everything together. So somewhere in my parents' house lurks from Resident Evil 1, a map of the mansion done with Jill and Chris that me and my dad were working on so that we could find our way through the game together.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it was like I was always aware of Resident Evil, I think, when it launched in 96. But I didn't have a PlayStation growing up. I was a Nintendo 64 household. So it wasn't, I think the thing where I was, this maybe speaks to me being 13 years old at the time, but the thing that clicked was like when Resident Evil 3 came out, like 4 years later. The GamePro magazine, their coverage of it had this image of Jill Valentine on it and her like blue tank top, and I was just like, forget Lara Croft. Let me
that
I want to know more about this character and this weird big-teethed monster that she's fighting on the cover. Because I mean, we were talking about Resident Evil characters and favorite characters and stuff. What monster is more iconic than Nemesis?
Nemesis was like when it came out, the Nemesis like propaganda was off the charts. Like you seeing that everywhere.
Oh man, Nemesis versus Pyramid Head argument going off all the time.
When you have old magazines, there's so much, like just so many pictures of Nemesis. It's really amazing. Just one thing to note: there's one company that will not be coming back to Resident Evil after this film. Will Farmer, or the WP Corporation. They are a big part of this film. They are the villains. Yeah, after releasing this film, Capcom learned that there's a real-world company called Will Farmer, and the real-world Will Farmer were not happy. They agreed.
I wonder why.
They agreed. Hilariously, they both Capcom and Will Farmer contacted the Resident Evil wiki and told them, please take this down. Wow. Because we just do not want to be associated. So that's why if you ever go to the Resident Evil wiki, you'll see them mentioned as WP Corporation. Because, yeah, Will Farmer just do not want to be the villains of a Resident Evil film.
But if you go to regular ass Wikipedia, it'll still be there.
Because you can't sue them. And just one thing I want to bring up is if you have the Blu-ray release of this film, you can activate the pop-up trivia track, which will bring up little fun facts about the movie. And some of the fun facts are quite fun. Some of them are just bizarre. Some of them are just repeating things you've already seen. And some of them are just bizarre. So, like, some of my favourites. They mentioned the president originally looked more like an existing president who simply combed his hair differently. His image underwent full reconstruction. I'm guessing Clinton was originally the president here.
I mean, even though, like, in 2008, it would have still been W. Bush, but
it could have been Bush. They say General Grande originally looked too much like a historic dictator. His image underwent a full reconstruction. I'm presuming Saddam because of the era. There's one thing it does do realize it tracks all the zombies. So all the zombies you see when the airport outbreak happens, all those characters will reappear later on as zombies. Like it tracks the reporter you see very early on. She appears in several scenes. They note that the first zombie to fall on Leon was molded after Mr. Suzuki of Digital Frontier, the CGI production company. But then you get like when after the airport, they get Claire is rubbing her arm here because she, along with the other survivors from the airport, had blood drawn to test for presence of infection. It's like, okay. And my favourite part is that when Leon dives into the tank to protect the lady from the fire, they go, the motion capture actors made sure to perform actual kisses during rehearsals and real takes. It's like, I feel that you're calling them out there slightly.
Oh,
but then the next one after that is, you can see Leon's t-shirt here because he took his jacket off after getting wet. So that's not really a fun fact. You can tell they kind of run out of facts later on. And they start just mentioning they have a thing like the ethanol systems. They're like the hose is spraying ethanol, which will set on fire. I was like, the film just said that. Like, that's not a fact. That's the plot.
I mean, it is a fact. It's just not one that you needed help with.
I just love, like, Leon's taking his jacket off here because he got wet. Movie magic.
Movie magic. In case they were worried about you pointing out continuity errors 20 years later. Like, they knew that somebody on YouTube was going to be like, Leon had a jacket in this scene, but doesn't here. Clearly, they weren't paying attention.
I hope someone got fired for that blunder.
Turns out.
One of the things that I think is bittersweet, I think this is the last time that we get the original Claire and not original Leon, but the RE4 Leon voices in a movie.
I think so.
I don't think are Leon and Claire together in any other movie?
They're together it's not a movie, but they're together in the Netflix limited series Resident Evil Infinite Darkness.
Oh, right. I tried to repress that.
Which essentially makes them like go on the outs by the end. And then in Dead Island, they're like, we're back together.
All right, they are back together in Dead Island.
Everybody's in Dead Island. Chris, Claire, Leon,
Wesker.
Gil,
Wesker.
Even Rebecca Chambers.
God, I'm so happy Wesker wasn't in this film.
Before we wrap up, I do have a question. What is your favorite Resident Evil thing? Like, what is if you had to pick one thing in the franchise that is your favorite Resident Evil thing, what would you say it is?
It's 4. It's 4. You can, and it's either flavor of 4, both 2005 and or 2023. I like both flavors. Just they're for me, that's the perfect balance between horror and action. It's not Wesker again. As much as I enjoy Wesker to a degree, Leon's at it the coolest, and it doesn't have tank. It's the first mainline entry that doesn't have tank controls.
No tank controls.
I kind of want to hedge my bets because I have a soft spot for Resident Evil 1 for all of its wacky. Resident Evil 1 reminds me of Vincent Price era horror films, and that it's wacky old mansion nonsense with evil monsters who go ooh at you. I would not say, if someone said now, well, how do I get Resident Evil? I would not say Resident Evil 1. Even Resident Evil 1 remake. It's 4 is the best game, like, officially. 1 I have a soft spot for because I am old and decaying and ancient. And for me, that was, at the time, oh my god, 3D graphics, I can make the man spin around. This is amazing. Technology is never going to improve. The other two things, I have a soft spot for the GB color game because it makes you fight zombies via the rhythm game, which is just great. But for me, something I have a weird soft spot for is, this is so nerdy, I apologize. 2018 Horror Nights in Japan had a live action Resident Evil maze with Leon. I think it was Leon and Jill you could be with. And it's great because you would be running through this thing and zombies would pop out at you, and the Leon they had there was the most flamboyant man I've ever seen, who was practically juggling he would throw gun from left hand to right hand to shoot zombies. It was so funny. It was like this idea that Leon has become fully desensitized and now thinks he's Bayonetta. That I want that in a game. I want to give me right stick control to juggle my gun as Leon and say in broken ink. He also spoke English in that for some reason, but very broken. So that at least one point he turns to everyone and goes, "Zombies, die, probably."
Probably.
Okay, Leon, hedge your bets. I love that. But no, if you want to start Resident Evil, it's Resident Evil 4. It's everything you want from a game, and someone shouts Leon at you.
I mean, for me, my favorite Resident Evil thing is Code Veronica, because I'm so different like that. But Resident Evil 4 is absolutely the best place to get into Resident Evil. I just happen to like Code Veronica because I think it's doing its best work with its high camp premise. I think we're getting some of the really interesting and fun mechanics out of it. And I like Claire. I like in this movie and in that, I like Claire Redfield. Claire and Leon might be the best characters.
I mean, the close second for me is RE2, and especially RE2 remake.
Yeah, RE2 remake is great, fantastic game.
Yeah, it's always good to see those two to get more than Chris and Jill, mainly because Chris and Jill really aren't together for any and all in RE1. If you think about it, they split up as soon as they get to the mansion.
They do the Scooby-Doo thing.
The second they check in, they go, "Nope, off we go."
It is time for us to give some final thoughts. So, what are our final thoughts on these wonderful movies?
It's campy as hell. It's a product of its era, but that's kind of been our wheelhouse, frankly.
Yeah.
Is covering products of their era. And then, I'm always a sucker for Resident Evil. So it's good to go back. Even Executor.
Yeah, so 4D-Executer I would recommend watching. It's such an interesting product of this time, and it's, I don't know, I love these kind of, not ephemeral films by definition, but ephemeral, it's a theme park film. It's 20 minutes, of which 5 minutes are credits, but I'd go have a look at it. Degeneration is fun. It's, once you get over those initial, this looks like a PS2 game, I would say Degeneration is a great rental film. It's one of those films you'll rent, put on, and have a great time with. It's not going to rock your world or become your new favorite film ever made, but it does a really good job of capturing Resident Evil 4's kind of tone and feel, and it's nice to see a Resident Evil film that doesn't feel like it's a shame that it's a Resident Evil film, or a Resident Evil film where we've taken someone's zombie spec script and changed the main character's name to Leon at the last minute because we need an IP on it.
I mean, just to kind of piggyback off that for my final thought, this was an era where these big IPs were getting movies and they were getting these sorts of things. And a lot of people were embarrassed. That's why, in the first X-Men movie, they're not in the X-Men uniforms. They're just in tight leather outfits. Everybody's feeling a little weird about this kind of genre fiction, but I like that this just goes into it. It's having a good time. It's not ashamed to be what it's going to be. If you like Resident Evil, you're going to enjoy this. If you don't like Resident Evil, you might enjoy this too, because it is a fun little self-contained story. It looks like it does look like it's from the PS2, but it's on the high end of PS2. PS2 looked good for its time.
Maybe early PS3.
It's early PS3, yeah. early PS3 also looked really. Hey man, I was there for Final Fantasy X too. Things looked fantastic on the PlayStation 2. Let's not pretend that it didn't. But yeah, this is a fun one. If you can find it, hunt it down. I like the 4D-Executer a lot. I would absolutely try to set that up with my friends, put the glasses on them, and shake a chair around for them. But this does mean that we've pulled in our final destination. That's right. It's time for us to disembark from Toonami Absolution. We want to thank you once again in joining us and talking about the shows that made us us and the shows that made you you. We have been your hosts. My name is Alyx.
I'm Sam.
And I'm John.
And we'll see you next time. Bang.